over the head pass to Michael Cage. Sonics up 14 after 1. Then Sonic D. Kendall Gill mugs Vernon Maxwell. He's all alone. Is there a better left-handed slammer than Kendall? Seattle led by 30 in the second. Houston came back. Akeem scored 34 points. Rockets within 3 in the fourth quarter. But Seattle hung on. Sean Kemp, pretty spin. Sonics up by 12. Then tension late. Payton starts tugging Maxwell's arm. They don't like each other. Payton had to be restrained. Rudy T sent Maxwell to the locker room. Neither player was ejected. The final, the Sonics win it, 112-97. More of a game than the score indicates. Payton finished with 25 after hitting his last 9 field goals. Ricky Pierce scored 25, Kemp 21. The Rockets came back in the third when they shot 63% and outscored Seattle 32-16. Visible first quarter, Chris Mullen for 3, not even close. Nelly can't figure it out. The Warriors shot 21% in the quarter. Second half, not much better. Latrell blows the alley-oop. Dana Barris brings it up court, finds the veteran, Moses Malone, who can still dunk. Sixers up big. Chris Webber, the comeback, the slam. Warriors get it to 14. That was it. Sean Bradley reverse jam off the alley-oop. Mad Dog is mad about his Sixers. They win it 107-1 to 90. Weatherspoon had 22 points and 10 boards. Moses Malone, 13 points and 12 boards. Weber finished with 16 and 11. Mullen, 16 points. But they were a little cold in the first half. Grant Long, pretty move, but blows the bunny. Then it's Long from long range, and he's Long. It wasn't just Long who was cold. The Heat scored only 29 points in the first half. But the Heat would lead by 1 after 3. Then Sleepy Floyd took over. The finger roll, who's guarding him? Michael Cooper. He had 15 in the fourth quarter. One more time for Floyd. Blows by Brian Shaw. Spurs win it. Sleepy scored 19 points. John Lucas said it was a hard, ugly, defensive-type game. David Robinson had 16 boards. Robin had 15. The 76 points allowed by the Spurs were the second lowest in Spurs history. Steve.
The second time in a week. Second quarter. Tony Campbell starts the break. Knicks are running to Greg Anthony for John Starks. Knicks up 46-39 at the break. Third quarter, Knicks by 7. Starks hits the 3. Knicks up by as many as 15. That's how many Starks had in the game. Nets would begin the comeback against Pat Riley's club. Armin Gilliam, the steal to Kenny Anderson to Johnny Newman, the former Knick, for the circus lay-in. Nets go up by 1 after a 10-zip run, and the Nets continue to run. Gilliam to Anderson, the drive on Starks. Nets by 4. Kenny holds a grudge. The wrist now feels fine. 5 seconds left. Nets by 2. Greg Anthony looks for Ewing. Fouled by Jason Williams with no time left. So Ewing needs 2 free throws for the tie. The first one he misses.
Just
get in there! So now the Knicks need a tip-in off the intentional miss. Ewing, the miss again. Come on! So the Nets hold on to win it, 97-95. You know, afterwards, Coleman admitted that he tried to rattle Ewing before he took his free throws. D.C. said there are all kinds of mind games out there. He's from Georgetown. I'm from Syracuse. I just had to break his concentration. Who knows? Maybe it worked. No Zeke for the Pistons, no Neek for the Hawks, though he sure looked sharp on the sidelines. Would they need him? The answer came early, jumping out to an 11-2 lead. Mookie Blaylock, the dish to Dominique Sub. That's Dwayne Farrell for this stuff. Lenny Wilkins used all his weapons, including Craig Elo off the bench. On the break, watch Craig muscle right through David Wood. Hawks would lead 75-49. That's at halftime. As for the Pistons, Olden Polynice goes strong. Problem, Kevin Willis went stronger. Swats it well into the stands. Don Chaney in for a long season. The Hawks tie the NBA season high with the 75 first-half points. Atlanta's won 17 of the last 20, a streak of 184 starts. What about Alonzo Mourning? They need him. See the right side of your screen there. Left the game with an ankle injury. He would return. Brad Daugherty led the Cavs in the first half with 22 points. Now the Hornets keep the game close with some defense. Mourning the block. Out to Del Curry. He passes to Muggsy Bogues. Nice dish to Scotty Burrell. Hornets down by 8 at the break. Second half, Cavs' Gerald Wilkins trying to take over. Wilkins had 29. And now Mourning would foul out. That would hurt Charlotte in the overtime. Cleveland takes advantage. Hot Rod, a jam over Eddie Johnson. Cavs go on an 11-zip run, and they win. About LJ, team doctors have determined the soreness in his lower back is not linked to the herniated disc he's recovering from. Johnson's been diagnosed with a deep sprain of the lower back. He's listed as day-to-day. Next up for the Hornets, they'll host the Bulls on Thursday night.
Business for Quinn. This one in reunion. First half, watch the passing. Pop on to Mashburn. Puts up the shot, no good. Rebound, Brian Williams, and he'll save it. Tiptoes the end line. Here comes Mashburn with the steal. What a sequence. But finally, the Nuggets, and there's a travel on Robert Pack. Okay. Give the ball to Kembe. Nuggets win it easy, 97-85. Brian Stith scored 21 points, including 15 for 15 from the line. Sean Rooks, 25, led the Mavs, who have now lost their first 13 home games. That is an NBA record.
In L.A. Watch the move and the prayer by Sean Kemp, and it's answered. John McEnroe never used to get those. Speaking of prayers, look at Gary Payton from the corner. Good. No Doug Christie. Too tough to defend against that. Tempers with flair in the third. It's down 3 on the break. He's fouled by Ricky Pierce. And away we go. Pierce, Christie, and Anthony Peeler all ejected. But somehow Sean Kemp stayed in the game. And in the fourth, Kemp would take over. Nate McMillan to Kemp for the jam. Then, running off the break, Kemp again with authority. Sonics win it 99-92. They finished on a 10-4 run. For the Lakers, first time since 74-75, they've been 10 games under 500. Sean Kemp, with 12 of his 25 in the fourth quarter, suffered a mild concussion and bruises on his jaw in that win over Houston. As the Clippers beat the Blazers on opening night, that was 2 months ago. Terry Porter buried the 3 on this night, 25 for him. The Blazers jumped out to a 19-4 lead. They led by 27 in the first half. Danny Manning, the runner, 2 of his 26. Clippers get to within 5, but that's as close as they would get. Buck Williams inside on Tom Tolbert, shoulder to the chest. Probably should have been an offensive foul. The foul called on Tolbert instead. That went on a 9-0 Blazer run. They go on for the win. Elmore Spencer's dunk broke the seal on the game, so L.A. had a 2-0 lead. Then Portland went on a 19-2 rep to open things up. 6 Blazers in double figure.
And there is Shaq, Daddy, Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. In the first, Penny Hardaway to the man for the dunk. And then it happened. It was plastic, plastic, plastic. Still Magic by 1 at the half. Second half key play, Shaq goes against Andrew Lang. No foul called on this play. Shaq goes ballistic, gets 1 technical. And as Brian Hill is calmed down, Shaq just won't stifle. And he gets tossed for his second tee. Fourth quarter, Magic go to Nick Anderson. The layup and the foul, we're tied at 86. Now tied at 90, it's Kevin Willis. The tough shot, and it goes. Hawks win at 92-90 as the refs have to be escorted from the arena. Willis said of his game winner, "That's my bread and butter move. I'm not afraid to take it, whether O'Neal is there or not." Willis finished 4 of 17 from the floor. The Nets and Chuck Daly struggling from the floor at Chicago. Main culprit, Kevin Edwards. The air ball, he missed his first 11 shots. Nets still up 1 after 3. Phil Jackson turns to Tony in the fourth. Likes his left hand, doesn't he? Bulls up by 4, and then a minute later, Tony has done it again, and you know what? It feels good. It looks not so good. The braces aren't working. Bulls win 94-86. So now the Nets haven't beaten the Bulls in Chicago since January 7th, 1986. That's 18 straight. No, look at Easy Ed clean up the glass. Then the assist king, Stockton. He had 17 on the night, first to Russell. That's Brian Russell. And then somehow finds the mailman who buries it. But then Sherm gets Tommy excited. Boston forces OT. Too much Tommy Chambers. Hits the runner. Sherman frustrated, draws the tee. Utah wins in OT, 110-107. It's the 9th straight home win for Utah. The Celts have lost 9 of 10. Rick Fox scored a career-high 28 for the Celts. Kings Bullets, Big West Unseld watching the little men early. 5'10" Michael Adams drives. Here comes 5'7" Spud. Get it out of here. Bullets led by 2 at the half. Then Googs, Perv, Donnie. McLean scored 25. But then Lionel Simmons caps a 17-5 run by the Kings with this drive and the foul. Kings put it away in the fourth on the break. LeBradford Smith to Mitch Richmond, a quiet 13 for Mitch. The Kings win. They get just their second road win in 13 tries. Walt Williams scored 6 of his 14 in the final 6 minutes. Williams missed the first 8 games of the season with a fractured leg and has been slowed by tendonitis the past 2 weeks. Steve. In a snappy suit. No problem for the Hornets on the glass. Hersey Hawkins, the putback. And then it's Kenny Gaddison, the strong rebound, an offensive putback. What about Scotty Burrell? Hornets had 9 offensive rebounds in the first half. Del Curry can do more than shoot. No look to LaRon Ellis. Hornets up 7 at the half. Second half, Phil Jackson's Bulls would run. Pete Myers to Corey Blunt for the jam. Bulls down 3. But Tony Bennett has a trailer. Ellis slams. Then Bennett to Del Curry for 3. Hornets up 17. Curry 28 points, 5 for 7 from three-point range. Morning looks healthy there. Charlotte wins. Hersey Hawkins grabbed 12 boards. Just the second loss for the Bulls in their last 16 games. The Hornets improved to 12-2 at the Hive. Magic versus the Heat. Shaq sporting the sideburns. Oh, boy toy. And you can dunk for inspiration. Penny gonna pass it to Shaq. And then Scott Skiles nods, lobs. The big man finishes 27 points, 19 boards for O'Neal. Lawfrey laughs a man's laugh. Shaq, buy my album. Always rapping. Then it's Glenn Rice. Sparks an 11-0 run with back-to-back threes. He had 24, Heat within 4. Scott Skiles, a more muscular Robbie Benson type. Coach, I can play anywhere I want. Charlie Ward waves goodbye to Miami. Orlando wins 108-100. Scott Skiles gets his 10th double-double of the season with 21 points and 10 assists. Miami's John Sally had a season-high 20 points along with 15 boards. Warriors at the Nuggets. Chris Webber in McNichols. His team trailed early. Mahmoud Abdul all the way. Oh, the finger roll over Vic Alexander. Nuggets by 4. Then to Kembe. Denies Gatling. And then Deke taunts. Mutombo received a second unsportsmanlike foul. Was ejected. The missile counsels. Warriors stay close. Byron Houston off the window to Webber. But then after missing 8 in a row, Brian Stith knocks down the J. Nuggets go on to win 101-96. Nuggets win their 5th in a row and 9th in a row at home before getting ejected. Mutombo had 14 points, 8 boards, and 6 blocks. Abdul Ruff had 22. Latrell, 28 for the Warriors. Webber, 17.
Wouldn't it? Scramble for the loose ball early. It comes to Robert Horry, and Robert Horry becomes a hurdler, and he finishes off the break, and the Rockets are up 4 after 1. But J.R. Ryder keeps it close. Over Akeem with a jam, and then he does a little jamming in his face. Uh-oh. Ryder had 30. Not a good idea, though. Akeem, Smith, get that out of here, please. A season-high 8 blocks for Akeem late in the game. Wolves hanging close, and Akeem says, stop hanging around. He finished with 34 points, 110-104 the final. Elijah won 14 of 25 from the field, 10 boards, 8 blocks, 5 steals, 5 assists. Those are big-time rotisserie numbers to go with his 30 points. Ryder had 12 boards. Celts in LA with the Clippers are 6-point favorites over the once mighty Celts. Billy Crystal all primed for Sunday. What about Prime Monday? First quarter, Danny Manning the steal. He had 29, and we are tied after 1. To the third, Sherman Douglas drives, hits the pretty follow-away. He finished with 15, Celts by 6. To the fourth, and Dino. Dino has not had the shooting touch as of late, finds it over Manning. Raja had 12, Celts by 11. Then it's Sherm, taking one away from Harper, and Dino lets him finish it. 17 turnovers for the Clips. The Celtics, winners, despite being underdogs. Couple of streaks stopped for the Green, a 7-game losing streak and a 9-game road losing streak. Bob Weiss has ordered his players to show up for a 3-day mini camp during their upcoming 6-day break. That will not win popularity points. Wes Unseld looking to turn it around or for a uniform. Purvis from the left. Then it's Ellison from the right. The Bullets loving the baseline. Rex Chapman, he had 25, but they trailed by 13 at the half. Second half, Bullets cut it to 4. Ewing then goes up for a rebound and looks at Starks. That's a touchdown. 60-51 Knicks. Starks wasn't missing very many. The jumper. And then 2 steps from behind the 3. He had 29 on 13 of 22 shooting. Ewing adds 24. The Knicks win it. Anthony Mason left with a sprained ankle, not expected to be serious. This fellow is a big Rush Limbaugh fan. What do we got going? It's the Gorilla and Mrs. Bradley. There is the real Sean. Please stand up, and he does. He had 11 and a half, 17 overall. Let's get back to that Gorilla. Playing games with Mrs. B, up and over. No block. Charles Barkley, big numbers. Double teamed underneath to O. Miller. Barkley had a triple-double. More on that in a sec. Every time he was double-teamed, he fined O. Miller. Career-high 32 and 13. Miller came in hitting a league-high 66% from the field. He ends up hitting 12 of 14. Barkley's first triple-double of the season. He said finding Oliver Miller was no problem. According to Charles, You can't miss him. The guy's 300 pounds. The Cavs on a season-high 5-game winning streak in Milwaukee. Mike Fratello, his Cavs have won 5 in a row. It's 103-100. Gerald Wilkins, arc, net. We're tied at 103 with 7.9 to go. And then it's Frank Burkowski, and it's arc, hacks him. So the brick man goes to the line for 2. Oh, it drops in. Burkowski made them both. He had 22. Final score, 105-103. The Cavs had 23 turnovers. The Bucks, 15 steals. Mike Dunleavy said it may be the best game we've played all year long. San Antonio clamping down on the D. They haven't given up more than 104 straight. David, can you see? Watch J.R. Reed drive. He had a game-high 22. Dale Davis comes in for the rebound. And watch him return it with authority. 16 boards in the first half. He had 22 in the game. Rodman can pass 2. The Worm had 6 assists. Robinson's eyesight's all right. He scored 21. 19 boards for the Worm. What color is the hair underneath there? 107-82 the final. Reggie Miller scored only 8. That breaks a streak of 51 straight in double figures. Miller said, "We didn't do anything consistently. We just didn't play. They destroyed us." The Kings beat up on the Pistons 97-91. Team effort for the Kings, 6 of them in double figures, all 5 starters. Detroit is now 11 games below the 500 mark. First time they have sunk that low since 1983, correct?